TIFU by asking a 5-year-old if he had any questions, by user temporary_royal_2260. So I work as a pediatric nurse, and today I had a sweet little 5-year-old patient. Everything was going fine, and at the end of the visit I tried to be nice and professional, so I asked him, "Do you have any questions?" I expected something like "When can I go home?" or "Do I get a sticker?" Instead, without hesitation, he looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Why don't sharks have eyebrows?" I completely froze. My brain went blank. I've studied medicine, child care, and 1,000 other things, but not once in my entire education has anyone prepared me for that kind of question. I tried to laugh it off and told him I'd do some research, but honestly I'm still thinking about it. I left the room questioning my entire existence. Why don't sharks have eyebrows? Do fish even need them? Am I dumb for not knowing? Google didn't help much either. Anyway, that 5-year-old destroyed my confidence in 3 seconds flat. TLDR, I asked a 5-year-old patient if he had questions. Instead of something normal, he asked why sharks don't have eyebrows. I still don't know the answer. TIFU by telling my son to go get his girl, by user deleted. I'm not sure if this coincidence or something much greater at work. When my parents met, my mom's parents didn't like my dad because they thought he was a punk and a failure. They didn't want them to get married, but they got married anyways. My wife's parents also didn't like me because I flunked out of a college and went to trade school, and I'm doing well now, but back then my future was uncertain. We got married anyways. Our son is now 24, and you guessed it, the girl he likes, his parents don't like him. I wanted my son to be an engineer or get an office job because trades takes a toll on you. I have a few back and joint problems, but my son wants to be a mechanic and eventually open his own shop. I believe in him and I'll always be here to catch him. He also flunked out of college and currently living with us until he finishes trade school. Can't even get mad because I started trade school at 22. Like father like son, as they say. Her parents want a guy who has status because she's studying to be a pharmacist and he's just start school again at 24. Great for her, but love is love. He was really sad because he says they love each other, so I told him, "Hey man, if you two love each other and you know she's the one for you, go get your girl." I straight up got legally married to my wife at 22 until we could afford a real wedding, and her parents were livid. My parents ran away together. So he does that, doesn't tell anyone, not even me, and surprise drops his wedding on a call and says, "Dad, I did what you said, I got married." I wish he didn't word it like that because now I'm in trouble. Her parents and my wife are livid, they're pressuring them to get the marriage annulled and wait till graduation. Her parents straight up want them to never see each other again. But I don't regret it one bit. Maybe it's a coincidence, or just maybe there's something greater at work. TLDR, told my son that if he loves his girl, he needs to go get her. TIFU by not knowing who I was talking to at work, by user jburple. This just happened and I don't think there will be repercussions, but it still doesn't look good. I was delivering papers to the mailroom at work, and afterwards I decided to swing by the bathroom before heading back to work and to waste a little time. On my way to the bathroom, a lady cheerfully asked me how I was doing and I said, "Meh, it's alright I guess." Usually that's good enough, but she replied, "Only meh? How come?" So I replied with, "Well, personal life isn't great and then I spend 8 HRS at a place I don't like for less pay than I'd like, so I don't know." And shrugged. She replied, "Now you'd probably expect with oh. Okay, well I hope it gets better." Well, what I forgot was that the mailroom is in the same floor as the executive offices, and an employee further down the hall, who'd seen our interaction, informed me that I'd just spoken with the coup of the company. TLDR, I told my coup to their face that I hate the company and feel underpaid. TIFU by cleaning old dog pee and ending up in the ER, by user Punkitha So earlier today I was cleaning the bathroom. I have a tall laundry basket that I keep in there for dirty clothes etc. It's the kind that has small holes going up the sides. I usually keep a thick black plastic bag in there to keep the smell of the dirty clothes in. Well, as I was cleaning I noticed the laundry basket had a little yellowing to it at the bottom. When I bent down I realized that my 2 dogs have been sneak peeing on the laundry basket. So I take the bag out and OFC, there it is, semi-dried nasty pee in the bottom of the laundry basket. In my head I'm thinking this needs to be sanitized immediately. So here's where I fucked up. I put the laundry basket into the tub and grabbed the first sanitizing thing I see. Concentrated bleach. And I pour. As soon as I pour the bleach onto the pee, I knew I messed up bad because it instantly started bubbling. It created toxic chlorine ammonia gas. I turned the tub faucet on full blast into the mix, knocked the basket over in the tub so it could drain, and ran out of the bathroom to grab a rag to wrap around my face. I wasn't fast enough though because my eyes and nose were on fire. Once I got back into the bathroom, most of the mix had gone down the drain and I took the basket outside. After a few minutes breathing real air, I went back in and opened up all the doors and put all the fans on high. My eyes were still stinging pretty bad, my nose felt burnt, and my face felt tight. I sat down to try to play some hold fast video game, thinking I didn't get it that bad, but after a few minutes of trying to shoot the cannon through my tears, I decided I might need to go to hospital. So I make it to the ER and they take one look at me and send me straight to triage. Here's where it gets better. The triage nurse looks at my eyes and says, we need to get you to the eye wash station for 15 minutes to wash your eyes out because they have mild chemical burn. There's one just around the corner in the bathroom. Let me tell you guys that the nurse was just as surprised as me to say that the eye wash station was no longer in that bathroom. So she goes to find an eye wash station while I sit there with my eyes just crying, and let me tell you, there was no eye wash station on the ER floor. So this other nice nurse says there's one up in ICU for sure across from that nurse's station. So a whole other nice nurse takes me up a floor to ICU where we go to that bathroom where there is no eye wash station. We find another bathroom and another, and no eye wash stations anywhere. So finally I say, hey, I've worked in a lot of kitchens and restaurants, there's always an eye wash station next to the dish pit. So we go all the way down to the hospital cafeteria where I stand against the wall and wait for the nurse to see if there's an eye wash station in the kitchen. I waited for a while too. When she came back, she was holding 2 bottles in her hand. Portable eye wash kit. The kitchen only had 2 of those and no others, and they needed them back, but yes, I could use them. The kitchen did not have an eye wash station either. Come to find out later on, the hospital had just gotten remodeled and no one anywhere in the hospital thought to have an eye wash station reinstalled anywhere in any bathroom on the whole premises. So nice nurse takes me back to ER area with bottles and we go to a bathroom where I stand over the sink for 15 minutes squishing these bottles into my eyes, making small talk with nice nurse who has to stand there and time me. Finally I get done with that and they sit me in a room until a different nurse comes to look at my eyes, listen to my lungs, and basically make sure I don't have chemical burns anywhere else. Nose is a bit crispy right inside, but since I didn't breathe in I was okay. She leaves and I wait for a little longer for the doctor to come, and he prescribes 500 units in each eye with a Morgan's lens. So I sat there and let nurse put these crazy lenses in my eyes after some numbing drops, and they did a wash of my eyes. Craziest feeling ever, guys. I'm home now finally. My eyes hurt like hell and I've got 10 days of eye drops prescribed every 3 hours. So in case you don't know, don't clean urine with bleach. Especially old dried urine, which is basically just pure ammonia. I'm including a link of a picture my husband took with the lenses in my eyes. It really was the most uncomfortable, weirdest of feelings. https://files.catbox.mo/2r8fce.jpg. Today I fucked up by pouring concentrated bleach on concentrated ammonia from dog urine and almost burnt my eyes out. Update to say that I'm overwhelmed with all the positive comments on here. Thanks so much, guys. I have been a bit busy in the past few days, first week back at school. I finally am on the other side and can say my eyes are much better. Still a little bleary, but the drops are working great and the headache and acrid nose burn feeling is gone. I appreciate everyone in this thread and am super happy that this fuck up has informed so many people not to be a big dummy like me, lol. 3. Be safe out there everyone. 3. TIFU by allowing my doctor to do a vaginal swab when she wanted to wait for the nurse to do it, by user Cuddlebear167. Edit. I guess I have to clarify because someone in the comments is essentially implying that I harassed my doctor by asking her to do the swab that day instead of waiting a few more days. She was not uncomfortable with doing the swab herself. She just wanted to see if another treatment would work first before I told her the other symptoms I was experiencing and then agreed the swabs were necessary. Regardless, I think it is ridiculous to assert that a primary care practitioner should be able to refuse doing a routine medical exam that requires immediate attention even if she was uncomfortable with it. Way to turn this funny post into something to be offended over. That's literally their job. Moving on. So basically, this is going to start off very TMI. I've been having weird symptoms down there for like 2 weeks. My doctors and I initially thought it was a UTI because I have had recurrent ones for a while. I was given antibiotics and finished them this past Tuesday, but I was still having some symptoms, although not exactly the same as before. Well, I saw my primary care doctor's nurse on Wednesday and she told me to wait until Monday to collect a urine sample and do a swab and use estrogen cream in the area until then, as it could be irritation caused by possible atrophy since I am a trans man on testosterone. And we needed to wait since I had just been on antibiotics. If symptoms are still there by Monday, we would run the tests. I used the estrogen cream on Wednesday night and noticed on Thursday night that I had redness and, again TMI, some discharge in the intimate area, which isn't normally a sign of a UTI, and it had been too long to be remnants of the cream plus wasn't the right consistency. So I requested I come back early for my swab. The only available doc was my primary care and not the nurse. However, my primary care has not done this type of thing very often in a long time since she isn't normally scheduled for urgent things that would require a swab. She just so happened to have a cancellation this morning. She wanted me to wait until Monday and have the nurse do it, but I insisted this isn't normal irritation and would like the swab done today. She did not say she was uncomfortable with doing the swab and even went on to tell me about her extensive history with vaginal exams and even delivering babies in the Middle East. Just in case anyone was worried that I essentially harassed my doctor by saying I thought it would be a better idea to do it now rather than later. Turns out they needed a few swabs, one requiring a speculum. Long story short, my doctor let go of the speculum. My body then proceeded to eject the speculum at her, which caused me to laugh uncontrollably while I literally had my legs splayed open in the stirrups, and let me tell you, I have never been so embarrassed in my life. I heard that thing fall on the floor and to my relief, she said it was fine to do the remaining swabs without inserting another one. TLDR, my spit a speculum at my doctor today because she let go of it while doing swabs. Edit, she put me on diflucan for those who are wondering. E-kick.